Jews, Buddhists. What happens when you get them together? I know it sounds like a joke, and it is filled with laughs. The book is called The Jew in the Lotus. And this is a wonderful book I've been wanting to highlight for a while because it's by this poet named Rodger Kamenetz who lives in New Orleans. And he got to go along on an incredibly special mission. The Dalai Lama wanted to learn from the Jews of North America. I think he wanted to understand from other people who had been in exile and experienced great hardships like the Tibetans have this last century. And so he invited all of these top Jewish leaders to come to Dharamsala and have a conference with him. And Rodger Kamenetz got to go as the poet/writer who was going to cover it. This is his book about the experience. It is a wonderful piece of work. If you don't know much about the history of Buddhism or the history of Judaism, they actually line up really well. They're these traditions that both have a lot of ritual in them, but also a very deep mysticism about connecting to the oneness of everything. And they have a ton of factions inside them, sometimes that are not so happy with each other. I mean, it's legendary how different types of Jews don't get along, but back in the old days, the different sects of Buddhism would honestly be killing each other. There would be battles and wars between the various sects. And so to see these leaders of the Jewish community with very different ideas about what Judaism is come and talk to the Dalai Lama, and the Dalai Lama being such a bright, intelligent character. I've seen him over the years. I've worked with a guy who did a book with him, The Story Tibet, and I mean the Tibetans are very lucky that they have such a wise leader who's so quick on the uptake. And this meeting of Dharamsala between the Jews and the Buddhists is fascinating in illuminating both sides of the culture, of these cultures, where they could each do better, where they could learn from each other. And because it's written by a poet, it is both very, very well written and intriguingly well done, but it's also so much fun because the Jews love to laugh, the Buddhists love to laugh, and when they're trying to make sense of the craziness of what both of their religions are, filled with deep purpose, but also a long tradition of storytelling, often very funny storytelling to get a point across, the meeting between the two cultures just seems like it might have happened long ago. And that's actually one of the things that are hinted at, is the group started to suspect that maybe there had been crossover thousands of years before that, and this is just an echo of that. So this is a wonderful book if you're interested in Buddhism or Judaism or where they meet.